Hello students, in last session we have discussed some problems of double standard DNA based on Chargaff's rule, base equivalence rule. But in the minor correction, minor change in the second problem, the problem is calculate the base ratio. Minor correction in the second problem, calculate the base ratio for DNA sample if 22% cytosine was found. Your options are 0.78, 1.7, 1 and 0.93. Your solution is some minor correction from this problem. Answer is when your C equals to 22%, cytosine equals to 22%, guanine equals to 22%. The Chargaff's formula base equivalence equation is A plus T plus G plus C equals to 100. Here A plus T equals to 100 minus G plus C, that is equal to 100 minus 44 equals to 56. A plus T, adenine and thymine, is the 56. So therefore, base ratio, calculation of base ratio is A plus T by G plus C. A plus T by G plus C. That is, here A plus T equals to 56 and G plus C is the 44. G plus C is the 44. Here solution answer is 1.28. 1.28. Or in another answer is base ratio is also written as G plus C by A plus T, that is equals to 44 by 56. Yes, 44 by 56. The answer will come around 0.78. 0.78. So, a comparison between these two answers. In our options, the correct answer is the A, 0.78. 0.78. Suppose if they have given same answer in any option, they will give A plus B, both A and B. Right answer A and B. But in the correlated answer, from this calculation, correlated right answer is the 0.78. So this is the minor correction of last class second problem, calculation of base ratio. Yeah, next to the double standard DNA, structure of a double standard DNA, packing of DNA helix. packaging of DNA helix. Packaging of DNA helix. Listen here, dear students. The double-stranded DNA, Watson and Crick model of DNA, duplex model of DNA in eukaryotic cells present inside the nucleus lies within the nucleus, whereas in prokaryotes like bacteria, cyanobacteria and PPLO directly present in the cytoplasm of cell. So, here how the DNA accommodated inside the nucleus of prokaryotic cells or within the cytoplasm of inside the nucleus of eukaryotic cells, while inside the cytoplasm of prokaryotic cells, how it get accommodated inside the cell of both the eukaryotes and prokaryotic cells. That is our topic heading of packaging of DNA helix. See, dear students, this is one of the most complicated explanation and also very difficult to understand easily the explanation of packaging of DNA helix. That's why you should more concentrated in our explanation when you are watching the videos. So, in the brief explanation of packaging of DNA helix is, listen here, the average distance between two adjacent base pairs in eukaryotic cell is 0.34 nanometers or 0.34 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters or 3.4 angstroms. You should remember, already we have discussed in the double-stranded DNA structure, the average distance between alternative nitrogen bases of double-stranded DNA is 3.4 angstroms or 0.34 nanometers or 0.34 into 10 to the power 4 minus 9 meters. So, the length of human the length of DNA for human diploid cell, the length of DNA for human diploid cell is 6.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs. 10 to the power 9 base pairs into 0.34 into 10 to the power 4 minus 9 meters. You should remember the length of DNA for man, human diploid cell is diploid cell, never haploid cell. Diploid cell, never genome. It should be diploid cell. 6.6 into 10 to the power of 6 base pairs, never 9, 6 base pairs multiplied with 0.34 into 10 to the power of minus 9 base pairs per meter. Base pairs per meter. So, this calculation this calculation of length of DNA will come around 2.2 meters. You should remember this point. The calculation of these values in the diploid cell, the length of the DNA will comes around 2.2 meters. 2.2 meters. So, its length means the DNA length 2.2 meters, some 1000 times more than that of dimension of the nucleus. You should remember this statement in clearly. Listen here. So, the length of the DNA, the length of the human diploid length of the DNA, approximately 2.2 meters. It is more than, its length is more than that of dimension of the nucleus. If the dimension of nucleus approximately measures about 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. You should remember the dimension of nucleus in the diploid cell 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. But the length of the DNA in the diploid cell 2.2 meters. So the length of the DNA some 1000 times more than the dimension of the nucleus. Dimension of nucleus. You should remember this statement in clearly. But how this more length DNA, double stranded DNA get accommodated, get present or accommodated inside the small dimension area of the nucleus. That is simple explanation of our heading, packaging of DNA helix. You should remember the introduction for package of DNA helix is the average distance between, the average space between two alternative nitrogen base pairs of diploid double-stranded DNA is 3.4 angstroms or 0.34 nanometers or 0.34 into the 10 to the power of 4 minus 9 meters. So, the length of the DNA for human diploid cell, length of the DNA for human diploid cell, very important for CET question, 6.6 into 10 to the power of 6 base pairs multiplied with 0.34 into the 10 to the power of minus 9 meters per base pair. So, this value after calculation will come around 2.2 meters. 2.2 meters. So, the length of the DNA in each diploid cell in man is 2.2 meters. You should remember this statement. Say, in man, some billion cells are there. Not million, some billion cells are there. So, whenever the DNA of all diploid cells are extracted, isolated and joined together one to one, such a single joined DNA will come around one rotation of solar system. Means we have to imagine how much DNA get accommodated in all diploid cells of human body. Because each diploid cell of DNA length is 2.2 meters. Whenever isolation or the separation of DNA of all diploid cells and undergo joining one end to next end, another end, the single length DNA, joint DNA approximately rotate or come around one rotation of solar system. Means you have to imagine how much amount of DNA get accommodated in our body. Such a DNA packed inside the nucleus. So you should remember the length of the DNA is more than the dimension of the nucleus in eukaryotic cells. Whereas in prokaryotic cells, in prokaryotes, like in E. coli cell, in Escherichia coli bacteria, number of base pairs 4.6 into 10 to the power of 6. You should remember this statement. In prokaryotes, like in E. coli cell, number of base pairs are 4.6 into 10 to the power of 6. So, the length of the DNA approximately 1.33 meters. 1.33 meters. It is more than the area of bacterial cell, that is approximately 1 millimicrons in diameter. So you should remember, in E. coli cell, in the Escherichia coli bacteria, the dimension area of the cell is 1 millimicrons. But the length of the DNA 1.33 meters. 1.33 meters, because the DNA contains 4.6 into 10 to the power of 6 nitrogen base pairs. So, here one simple arising question: how the more length DNA get accommodated inside the nucleus in prokaryotes or eukaryotic cells? So, more length DNA get accommodated inside the nucleus. A solution is only by packaging or compaction. You should remember, such more length DNA in prokaryotic cells or in eukaryotic cells get accommodated by packaging or through compaction. Compaction means more coiled, highly coiled DNA get accommodated. Listen here. For this introduction, one simple example. A farmer going to electric shop and to purchasing electric wire, approximately 100 meters electric wire. 100 meters of length of electric wire, cable wire. But this 100 meter length cable wire, the shopkeeper cannot pack it in 100 meters packing box. Yeah, the electric wire coiled, once again coiled, more coiled, and packed inside a simple box for easy to holding and for easy to carry. Likewise, the more length DNA, some 1,000 times length DNA than that of a nucleus, get accommodated, coiled in the form of compaction, in the form of packaging. But how this more length DNA get packed, compact inside the nucleus of prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells? Yeah, generally the DNA is acidic in nature. The major principle for packaging of more length DNA inside the nucleus of prokaryotes and eukaryotes is, yeah, generally DNA is acidic in nature. Because already we know the concept of acidic nature of DNA due to presence of phosphate functional groups. More phosphate functional groups, more orthophosphoric acid, since double stranded DNA is acidic in nature. See, so this acidic DNA get coiled, compact, associated with the basic proteins. More important, very, very important. So, the compaction of acidic DNA takes place by the help of basic proteins. like polyamines. Polyamines in prokaryotes and histone proteins. Histone proteins in eukaryotes. Very important. Listen here. Generally, DNA is acidic in nature due to presence of more phosphate functional groups, orthophosphoric acid. So, the compaction of DNA, the compaction of this acidic DNA takes place associated with basic proteins like polyamines in prokaryotes and histone proteins in eukaryotes. But how the packaging of DNA takes place? Acidic DNA associated with polyamines in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. That is our next concept of packaging of DNA helix in prokaryotic cells and in eukaryotic cells. So we are going to study the packaging of DNA helix in prokaryotes. Packaging of DNA in prokaryotes. Listen here. Example in E. coli, Escherichia coli. See, in prokaryotic cells, the DNA present in the cytoplasm of cell. In prokaryotes, DNA present in the cytoplasm due to absence of nuclear membrane. In more coiled, in super coiled in nature. More coiled means in super coiled in nature due to presence of basic proteins called polyamines. Remember this statement in clearly. In prokaryotes, DNA present in the cytoplasm in super coiled in nature. Super coiled nature. This super coiled nature is maintained by the help of basic proteins called polyamines. Polyamines. See, such super coiled structure of the DNA present in the cytoplasm is called genopore. Genopore or nucleoid. Listen here. So in prokaryotes, packaging of DNA helix is very simple as compared to the eukaryotic cells. This is because DNA present in the cytoplasm in super coiled nature due to presence of basic proteins called polyamines. This compact DNA present in the cytoplasm of cell in prokaryotes is called genopore or nucleoid. So that the packing of DNA helix in prokaryotic cell like E. coli cells is very simple, simplicity. And next to the packaging of DNA helix in prokaryotes is the packaging of DNA helix in eukaryotic cells. In eukaryotes, very important, most important expected question for 5 mark question, or sometimes only diagram will ask for 2 mark question. So the topic is the packaging of DNA helix in eukaryotes, in eukaryotic cell. Example, man cell. Say the packaging of DNA helix in eukaryotes is more complexity. It takes place with the help of lysine and arginine rich basic proteins called histone proteins. Listen here. In eukaryotes, the packaging of DNA helix is more complexity. It takes place with the help of lysine and arginine rich basic proteins called histone proteins. Yeah, there are 5 different types of histone proteins. 5 different types of histone proteins like H1, histone 1, H2A, histone protein A, H2B, histone second protein B, H3 and H4. You should remember this statement. There are 5 different types of histone proteins like H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. Among 5 types, 4 histone proteins occurs in pairs to produce a structure called histooctamer. This histooctamer is also called new body or core of histone protein. You should remember, out of 5 types of histones, 4 histone proteins occurs in pairs. Four histone proteins occurs in pairs like H2A protein, H2B protein, H3 protein and H4 protein occurs in pairs, means 2 copies of each protein, each histone protein out of 5 H2A protein or H2B, H3 and H4 proteins occurs in 2 copies. Each one existed in 2 copies. Listen here. This is one simple diagram of arrangement of histone proteins. Like these histone proteins arranged one after the another in the form of ball-like structure, spherical ball-like structure. See, this is H2A protein, H2B protein, H3 protein and H4 protein. H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. So, out of 5 types of histone proteins, 4 histone proteins occurs in pairs, existed in pairs, means 2 copies of each histone protein. You should remember, means a pair of H2A, a pair of H2B, a pair of H3 and a pair of H4. Say, in front side, in front view, 4 organization of histone proteins. In back view, this is the back view diagram. So in back view, remaining 4 histone proteins are there. So totally 8 in number. But each histone protein existed in 2 copies. A pair of H2A, a pair of H2B, a pair of H3 and a pair of H4. So 4 histone proteins occurs in pairs. to produce histooctomer called new body or core of histooctomer. Very important. Well, listen here. That's why I was saying very important. It is more complexity to explanation and very difficulty to understand. Well, listen here. Out of 5 types of histone proteins, 4 histone proteins occurs in pairs to produce a structure called new body or core of histooctomer. Because each histone protein existed in 2 copies. So 4 into 2, 8. All 8 histone proteins grouped together to form an histooctomer, core of histooctomer or new body. But very important, in which the positively charged ends directed outside. In the new body, the positively charged ends directed outside. Very important. Very important concept, because histone proteins are the basic proteins. Basic proteins means positively charged particles. So in the new body, in the core of histooctomer, the positively charged particles, the positively charged ends directed outside. Very important. Such positively charged ends attracted negatively charged DNA, because DNA is the negatively charged particle due to presence of orthophosphoric acid, phosphate group. So here the positively charged ends of histooctomer attracted the negatively charged DNA. So the double stranded DNA, the negatively charged DNA, very important. So 200, very important. 200 base pairs of DNA. 200 base pairs of DNA. Wrapped means covered around the histooctomer, core of histooctomer, around the core of histooctomer for about 3/4 turn to produce nucleosome, to form a structure called nucleosome. Very important. Listen here. The positively charged proteins attracted the negatively charged DNA. So 200 base pairs of DNA. Very important. Last cassette examination question. 200 base pairs of DNA rotate means wrapped, covered around the new body, around the histooctomer, about 1/3/4 turn, 1/3/4 turn to form a nucleosome of a size of 110 into 60 nanometers, 60 angstroms or 11.6 nanometers. You should remember this statement saying the positively charged histone proteins positively charged histone proteins wrapped around the attracted negatively charged DNA. Negatively charged DNA. So 200 base pairs of DNA. 200 base pairs of DNA wrapped around the ball-like histoactomer new body about 1/3 by 4th ton, never full 2 tons of 1/3 by 4th ton means 1.75 ton. 1.75 ton, 1/3 by 4th ton to produce a structure called nucleosome. Nucleosome of size 110 into 60 angstroms or 11.6 nanometers. 11.6 nanometers. Very, very important. So, generally, nucleosome. Now, this is our NCERT diagram mentioned in our NCERT text material. This is a ball-like histoactomer formed by fusion of 8 histone proteins, but 4 types: H2A, H2B, H3, and H4. This is called histoactomer. Now, in this histoactomer, the positively charged ends are directed outside for easy to attraction of negatively charged DNA. For this, the negatively charged DNA containing 200 base pairs wrapped around the histoactomer. Around the histoactomer with 1/3 by 4th ton. 1/3 by 4th ton to produce a structure called nucleosome. With the size, with the dimension 110 into 60 angstroms or 11.6 nanometers. Means approximately 11 nanometers is the dimension of a nucleosome. So you should remember one important concept for CET. Nucleosome contain both histone proteins with DNA. Listen here, histoactomer with the DNA collectively called as nucleosome. But never new body directly called as nucleosome, because new body is the core of 8 histone proteins. Only histone proteins, only basic proteins are present in the new body, in the histoactomer. So, the basically or positively charged histoactomer attracted the negatively charged DNA. Since 200 base pairs containing DNA wrapped around the new body histoactomer about 1/3 by 4th ton to produce a structure called nucleosome. Very important for one more question. And the DNA which is present between adjacent nucleosomes. See, these are all the number of nucleosomes. Get arranged in the form of ball-like structures. Now, these are all the alternative arrangement of balls called nucleosomes, histoactomers. Now, these ball-like stretches of histoactomy are wrapped by, covered by double-stranded DNA with 1 of 3 by 4th turn. 3 by 4th turn to produce number of nucleosomes arranged alternatively. So you should remember, very important, the DNA which is interlinked between adjacent nucleosomes, alternative nucleosomes, very important. The DNA which is interlinked between adjacent nucleosomes is called linker DNA. One more question. Where do you find linker DNA? In between two nucleosomes of the double-stranded DNA is the position of linker DNA. And important topic, this linker DNA get associated. This linker DNA is associated to, attached to H1 histone protein. Listen here, H1 histone protein present in the linker DNA. Most important question for CET. So, H1 histone protein never present in the nucleosome or never present in the histoactomere. It is always present in the linker DNA. Listen here, for example, this is one H1 histone protein. H1 histone protein, through the H1 histone protein, listen here, the double-stranded DNA passed out. Through the linker DNA, through the H1 histone protein, linker DNA passed out. So that linker DNA present in between adjacent to nucleosomes associated to the H1 histone protein. So this is H1 protein. H1 histone protein, and this is the DNA, double-stranded DNA, and this is the core of histoactomere. Histoactomere, and interlinked to the adjacent nucleosome by the help of linker DNA associated to the H1 histone protein. Very important. Listen here. This type of nucleosome chain, this kind of nucleosome chain, important, gives in the form of beads of string under electron microscope. Listen here, this type of nucleosome chain appeared in the form of beads of strings. Beads of string under electron microscope. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಒಂಥರ ಮನಿ ಸರ ತರ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮನಿ ಸರ. So this type of nucleosome chain appears in the form of beads of string under electron microscope. Important, this kind of nucleosome chain, very important, condensed to form, condensed to form, very important, called solenoid. Say nucleosome chain condensed to form a structure called solenoid. Solenoid with 30 nanometer in size, 30 nanometer in size, and the solenoid further coil, very important, nucleosome chain is condensed to form a structure called solenoid with size of 30 nanometers, and the solenoid further condensed to form super solenoid. Super solenoid. with the size of 300 nanometers. And the supersolenoid further condensed, again condensed, further condensed to form chromatin with the size of 700 nanometers. 700 nanometers, very important. And chromatin fibers, see this chromatin or chromatin material, chromatin fibers so usually found in interphase stage, especially in the prophase stage. See this prophase stage containing chromatin fibers, chromatin material further condensed, again condensed at higher level, very important, in metaphase of the mitotic division, metaphase of the mitotic division to produce a rod-shaped structure called chromosome. A rod-shaped structure called chromosome with a diameter 1400 nanometers. So you should remember this statement very clearly. The beads of string under electron microscope of nucleosome chain condensed to form solenoid with a diameter of 30 nanometers. The solenoid further condensed, means so again coiled, further condensed to produce super solenoid with the size of 300 nanometers. The super solenoid further condensed, again condensed in the form of a structure called chromatin or chromatid in the prophase of cell division, M-phase of prophase of cell division with diameter 700 nanometer. And this chromatin or chromatid at a higher level further condensed, again condensed during metaphase of cell division to produce a rod-like structure, a rod-shaped structure called chromosome with a diameter of 1400 nanometers. But very important, say the condensation of chromosome at higher level, you should remember. The condensation of chromosome, nothing but no, the condensation of chromatin at a higher level to produce a chromosome. At a higher level to produce a chromosome. Please near. It can require a group of associated proteins. Very important. A group of associated proteins. A group of associated proteins. A group of associated proteins called non-histone chromosomal protein. Listen here. The formation of chromosome at a higher level required a group of associated proteins called non-histone chromosomal protein. Such non-histone chromosomal protein at higher level responsible for formation of a rod-shaped chromosome in metaphase of the cell division. So that chromosome, listen here, the chromosome is formed by fusion of chromatin or chromatid, supersolenoid, solenoid and nucleosome chain. So in CET need information. The sequential organization of chromosome is, see, DNA, approximately 2 nanometers in diameter. condensed to form nucleosome with 11 nanometer dimension. Nucleosome condensed to form solenoid 30 nanometers in diameter. Solenoid further condensed to form super solenoid with 300 nanometers diameter. The super solenoid again condensed to produce chromatid or chromatin with 700 nanometers, and this chromatin fiber from prophase enters into the metaphase at a higher level to produce a rod-shaped structure called chromosome with a diameter 1400 nanometers. 1400 nanometers. Listen here, students. In this display diagram, displayed image, double-stranded DNA containing phosphate groups. This is acidic nucleic acid DNA. The acidic nucleic acid DNA associated to the histone proteins, positively charged histone proteins in the form of ball-like structure called nucleosomes. So this is the chain of nucleosome approximately appear in the form of string of beads under electron microscope. Now this string of bead-like structure of the nucleosome chain further condensed to form solenoid. Again super solenoid. Again chromatin fibers, and chromatin fibers at a higher level condensed to form coiled to form a matured and rod-shaped chromosome at metaphase of cell division, mitotic or meiotic cell division. This is the organization of chromosome inside the nucleus of eukaryotic cells. So this is the packaging of DNA helix in the eukaryotic cells. Even though some 1000 times longer than the dimension of nucleus, the double-stranded DNA, 2.2 meters of double-stranded DNA, coiled, further coiled, again coiled inside the nucleus within the nucleoplasm in the form of chromosomes in the cell division, and chromatin fibers in the prophase of the cell division, M-phase of interphase of cell cycle. This is the brief explanation of packaging of DNA helix in eukaryotes. But you should remember one important information from the CET or NEET concepts. Say, at the higher level, the formation of chromosome, rod-shaped chromosome, required a group of associated proteins called non-histone chromosomal proteins. Important, such non-histone chromosomal proteins called scaffold, SCA-FFO-LV, scaffold proteins. They are the types of non-histone chromosomal proteins. See, extra information from the NHC, non-histone chromosomal proteins. On the basis of function, non-histone chromosomal proteins so classified into 3 types. Based on function, non-histone chromosomal proteins so classified into 3 types, like structural proteins, structural NHC, non-histone chromosomal proteins, structural non-histone chromosomal proteins. Here example for structural NHC, scaffold proteins. While the scaffold proteins, so NHC proteins, so example for structural proteins because they are responsible for organization of formation of a structure of chromosome at a higher level during metaphase of the cell division. So NHC structural protein example is the scaffold protein. Scaffold protein. And next one is the functional NHC. Functional non-histosomal non-histochromosomal proteins. Functional NHC non-histochromosomal proteins. Your example DNA polymerase, DNAP, DNA polymerase and RNAP, RNA polymerase. You should remember. DNA polymerase enzyme and RNA polymerase enzyme example for functional non-histone chromosomal proteins because they are responsible for specific functions during transcription and translation. For example, in the replication of DNA. Next topic in the same lesson, in the replication of DNA, one parental DNA produced two daughter DNAs. Yeah, the major protein required for replication of DNA is the DNA polymerase. So, DNA produce DNA. DNA gives rise to DNA. DNA produce DNA. Parental DNA produce daughter DNA. In presence of DNAP. DNA polymerase first, DNA polymerase second, DNA polymerase third, future concepts in the topic of DNA replication. So, DNA polymerase first, second, third, example for functional NHC because they are responsible for synthesis of DNA, formation of DNA. Same as it is, so RNA polymerase enzyme responsible for formation of RNA from the DNA. Say, during transcription, DNA produce RNA, different types of RNA like mRNA, tRNA, rRNA, mRNA, tRNA in presence of only RNA polymerase. That procedure is called transcription. So, the formation of RNA from the DNA is called transcription. It takes place in presence of RNAP. RNA polymerase first, responsible for rRNA. RNA polymerase second, helps in formation of mRNA. RNA polymerase third, helps in formation of tRNA. Important, last board exam. Very important in theory exam, one more question, name the enzyme responsible for synthesis of mRNA. RNA polymerase second enzyme. So totally RNA polymerase enzyme, so example for functional NHC. Functional NHC. And next one is the regulatory non-histochromosomal proteins. Regulatory non-histosomal chromosomal proteins, non-histone chromosomal proteins. Example, human mediated HMG group of proteins. HMG, human mediated group of proteins responsible for regulation of gene expression. You should remember this statement because in our body each and every character under the control of genes. Whenever gene can express their function, consequently the body expresses the phenotypic character. Whenever gene control their function means so regulate their expression, control their expression. In that case, the body never expresses the phenotypic character. You should remember, if the gene is switched on to express the character, if the gene is switched off condition, controlled condition, in regulated condition, no expression of phenotypic characters, morphological characters. See, such regulation, controlling of the expression of gene takes place by the help of HMG proteins. Here HMG proteins, so one type of regulatory NHC. See, these are all the three different types of non-histone chromosomal proteins out of three different types. In our topic, in our concept, in our proteins are the structural NHSA, example scaffold protein. So, when your chromatin thread converted into, condensed into rod-shaped chromosome at a higher level in the help of associated proteins called scaffold proteins. Non-histone chromosomal proteins called scaffold proteins. So, by this manner, in eukaryotic cell, DNA packed inside the nucleus. Even though some thousands, some millions times more than the dimension of nucleus, it get coiled, again coiled, further coiled, in the form of different structures, finally to organize the rod-shaped chromosome. To exist the rod-shaped chromosome is the packaging of DNA helix. But during packing of DNA within the nucleus, inside the nucleus, during packaging of DNA inside the nucleus in the form of solenoid, super solenoid, chromatin, or in chromosome. Very important. Some regions of chromatin. Present here, some regions of chromatin fiber is more coiled, is highly coiled, like this. Some regions of chromosome is more coiled, is densely coiled and darkly stained. Darkly stained means when we are going to staining of a cell, cytological character of a cell by using astocarmine or astoacin stain. This more coiled region of DNA, this more coiled region of chromatin fiber, densely stained, means to observe large amount of stain and appear in dark color. See, such more coiled, darkly stainable region of chromosome, chromatin fiber is called heterochromatin. Heterochromatin. Very important. What is heterochromatin? Nothing but more coiled, darkly stainable region of chromosome or chromatin fiber is called heterochromatin. But it is transcriptionally inactive. You should remember this statement. Heterochromatin region of chromosome no participating synthesis of proteins, transcription or translation, because here the genes are closely packed, closely arranged in between genes, so there is no functional gap. That's why linkage, percentage of recombination is less in heterochromatin region. Whenever genes are more packed, tightly packed, the percentage of recombination is less, linkage is less. Already we have discussed in genetic topic linkage and recombination syllabus, linkage and recombination concept. So the concept of heterochromatin is transcriptionally inactive. This is due to genes are closely packed, tightly packed, and some regions of chromatin fiber inside the nucleus. You should remember this statement. Some regions of chromosome or chromatin fiber inside the nucleus is loosely packed and lightly stained. Very important. This lightly stained, loosely packed region of chromosome is called euchromatin. So you should remember this statement in clearly. Euchromatin nothing but, see, less coiled, lightly stained region of chromatin fiber is called euchromatin. More coiled, darkly stainable region of chromosome is called heterochromatin. Heterochromatin is transcriptionally inactive, while the euchromatin is transcriptionally active. Transcriptionally active means so it is participating gene expression. Participating gene expression means so it is involved in synthesis of proteins like transcription and translation step. So after organization of DNA within the nucleus in the form of chromatin fibers or chromosome, some regions of chromosome is more coiled and darkly stained. This is called heterochromatin, while the some regions of chromosome is less coiled and lightly stained. This condition is called euchromatin. Here heterochromatin is transcriptionally inactive, functionally inactive, and euchromatin is functionally active, transcriptionally active. Important. One more question. This behavior of a chromosome, chromatin fiber in the form of euchromatin and heterochromatin, collectively called heteropyknosis. 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 Nothing but the behavior of chromosome in the form of euchromatin and heterochromatin is called heteropyknosis. Is the structure and also brief explanation of packaging of DNA helix in eukaryotic cell. So after fully packaging of DNA inside the nucleus of eukaryotic cells, finally to organize the rod-shaped structure called chromosome. Rod-shaped structure called chromosome. So the chemical composition of a typical chromosome is, listen here, the full chemical composition of chromosome is, it is made up of 40% of DNA, 40% of DNA, important, 5.5% of RNA, 5.5% of RNA, and 50% of histone proteins, 15% of histone proteins, and 1.5% of RNA, 1.5% of RNA, 50% of histone proteins, and 1.8 something % of acidic proteins. Acidic proteins is the chemical composition of a chromosome. So 40% of DNA, 1.5% of RNA, 50% of histones, and 1.8% of acidic proteins. Important. Sir, what are the names of acidic proteins? They are the non-histone chromosomal proteins are acidic in nature. Very important. They are closely associated to the chromosome. So that very important, non-histone chromosomal proteins, commonly called structural proteins or scaffold proteins, is the explanation of package of DNA helix in eukaryotic cells. Now, this kind of DNA present inside the nucleus in the form of chromosomes, mainly responsible for transmission of characters from parents to offsprings, generation to generation, is the main function of DNA. See, in addition to this major function, some sub-functions are there, rational functions are there. Later, after ending topic of DNA, nucleic acid DNA, we are discussing about functional aspects or significant role of the DNA. But here, main function of DNA is the transmission of hereditary characters, so from parents to the offsprings, generation to generation. That's why DNA is the genetic material. A material to carrying the genetic characters, genetic properties is called genetic material. Example, DNA. But how, sir? How do you say DNA transfers hereditary characters from generation to generation? By different evidences, different practical experiments proved that DNA acts as a genetic material. In next class, we are going to discuss about different experiments of DNA acts as a genetic material conducted by several molecular biologists. So in next class, we are going to discuss about experiments on the DNA for genetic material. Thank you. I'll be continuing next class.